Today I'm going to be talking about this book, The Classical Man by Richard Kim. This is an old copy of this book. This book came out in 1982. And I got this copy around 1987. This is the third printing of this book, and I think it's currently in its seventh printing. Right now, if I'm correct. So this book I bought when it was out for about 5 years. I bought it in about 1987, and I read it a lot when I was younger, and it's got a lot of great stories in it. Richard Kim, the author, he's since passed away. He passed away, I believe, in 2001 when he was like 83 years old. So. He was born in Hawaii, and I believe he moved to California. He started teaching in the late 1950s out there. So he had studied many styles. I think he started with judo, studied a lot of karate styles. He was in Japan, lived there for a while, and trained there as well. And he also wrote a monthly column for Karate Illustrated magazine back in the day. And this book is full of about 40 short stories, I'd say, 40 to 50, maybe, 40 to 50 short stories. And they're stories about martial arts masters, various traditional lessons and stories and things that you can learn. And there's a lot of them. They're all very brief. They're probably, couple, like 2 pages to 4 pages or so each story. And it's a quick read. And, some of the stories in here, just to give you an example, they have a story called Hito Kata San Nen, which means that you practice a kata for 3 years. 3 years, 1 kata. So, and he talks about how a lot of people think that's ridiculous, but the whole point was that you practice the kata over and over until it becomes a part of you, but then you can break apart and you can dissect the bunkai and the variations of it and learn how to use it against different techniques and different strikes and things like that. And so the study of that one thing could take forever. And if you really think about it, a kata has, several moves in it. So let's just say like a boxer dissected a jab, cross, and hook for 3 years and figured all the way they could use the jab, cross, and hook. You could easily spend 3 years on that as well. So I think that's the concept, but that's one story. He has stories in here about a lot of karate masters like Gijin Funakoshi, Miyagi Chojan Miyagi, the founder of Goju-Ryu Karate. He has other stories. One of them is called Clothes Cannot Change the Skill. And it's a story of Muso Gonosuke and his run-in with Miyamoto Musashi. And I guess Muso Gonosuke wore clothes, and his coat even said the #1 strategist under heaven. He always had 8 people that went around with him. He liked to be seen as a hot shot, and he had a run-in with Musashi, and Musashi defeated him, and left him with a reminder that clothes don't make your skill. That those things are just something on the periphery. Those don't really matter. What matters is your technique, your skill, and how you carry yourself. He had another story called Searching for the Light Outside, and a brief explanation is where he talks about somebody who was looking for a needle. They were looking for a needle, I believe, outside, and somebody stopped by and said, "What did you lose? Can I help you look for it?" And they said, "Well, I lost my needle." So they started looking through the outside together. And then finally, the person that stopped by said, "Well, where did you specifically lose it?" And they said, "Well, I lost it inside." And they said, "Well, if you lost it inside, why are you looking outside?" "Because it's more light out here," was the response. So that's kind of an analogy for like, sometimes we search for things in the wrong places just because it's easier, just because it seems more bright where we're searching. But sometimes we have to search in the dark spaces where we really lost it if we ever have hope to find it. So that's another story. It's got, it talks about a story, there's a story in there about how it's important to find a successor, that how some top martial artists never found a successor and their art died with them. And there's one line in here that I liked. It was toward the end, and the quote was that he said, Richard Kim said in there, "Today, after many trials and tribulations as a teacher, I appreciate my sensei." And, you know, that really hit home with me because I've had many instructors, but today too, after all my trials and tribulations and teaching, you know, I appreciate my sensei, and I hope some of my students come to appreciate me. And the point of these videos is to get something out there for free, to give some information out for free, and to pass on some of the knowledge of myself and others and people that I've learned from. And to give you clues to things to look for, to find new information on your own that can help you on your journey. So, Richard Kim, The Classical Man. This is a great book. It's a classic, and every martial artist interested in traditional stories and lessons that are going to help you on your journey in the martial arts and in life, this is a great book for it. So, get it. And if you can like, share, and subscribe to the channel, keep it growing for me, and I'll keep things coming out.